In this video, we'll break down the fastest ways to improve in pickleball. We'll explore the core pillars that drive rapid progress, and we'll talk about modern pickleball development built around intentional practice. Improvement in pickleball often feels slow for players who lack direction, but with the right structure, progress can accelerate quickly. The focus here is on 4 specific pillars that directly influence how fast a player improves. These pillars shape how practice is approached, how movement is executed, how weaknesses are addressed, and how equipment supports performance. Skinny singles is presented as one of the most effective drills for accelerating improvement because it isolates the exact skills needed for doubles play while increasing repetition. The format is simple. Play singles on half the court, strictly down the line, including serves and returns. This structure forces players to engage in realistic point construction without the unpredictability of a full doubles game. The value of this drill comes from repetition and isolation. Since it is 1 versus 1, every ball comes back to the same player, creating constant involvement. This allows consistent practice of serves, returns, drops, and resets within a controlled but realistic setting. Unlike full games where players may go multiple shots without touching the ball, skinny singles ensures continuous engagement. Another key benefit is its ability to simulate hands battles. Most hands exchanges in games occur down the line, and this drill naturally recreates those scenarios. Over time, this repetition builds familiarity, making players feel more comfortable and stable when transitioning into real matches. An important factor in maximizing this drill is playing against someone slightly better. This forces a more advanced style of play. The Dink Game is another foundational drill that focuses entirely on the kitchen phase of play. Like skinny singles, it is played on half the court. The structure begins with 2 controlled dinks, after which players are free to continue dinking or initiate an attack. This drill isolates 2 critical components: dinking consistency and decision-making. By starting with controlled exchanges, players are encouraged to build patience before attempting to speed up. The transition from dinking to attacking becomes the central learning point. One of the key lessons from this drill is shot selection. Players often speed up at the wrong time, especially when the ball is too low. In these situations, opponents can easily counterattack. The Dink Game exposes these mistakes in a controlled environment, allowing players to refine their timing and recognize better opportunities. Another important aspect is targeting. Practicing specific speed-up locations, such as the right shoulder or right hip, helps players develop precision during attacks. These targets often create awkward contact points for opponents, leading to weak responses or immediate errors. The value of the Dink Game lies in its ability to combine technical execution with decision-making. It is not just about hitting accurate dinks, but also about recognizing when to transition from neutral play into offense. Over time, this leads to more effective kitchen play and improved outcomes in hands battles. Footwork is identified as one of the most important yet most neglected aspects of improvement. Many players engage in drills but fail to move correctly, which limits their ability to translate practice into performance. The first critical area is transitioning from the baseline to the kitchen. Against stronger opponents, this phase becomes extremely challenging because they actively try to keep players back. Effective movement in this zone requires staying low, using split steps, and taking controlled lunging steps forward. Poor footwork in this area is characterized by upright posture, casual movement, and lack of balance. This often results in players getting stuck in the transition zone, unable to advance or execute effective shots. Proper movement, on the other hand, allows players to handle low balls and maintain control while progressing forward. The 7-1-1 drill is introduced as a way to train this movement under pressure. One player starts at the kitchen while the other begins at the baseline and must win more points to balance the advantage. The player at the baseline focuses on advancing using controlled drops and proper footwork while the opponent attempts to keep them back. This setup forces realistic execution of transition skills within a competitive structure. The second area of focus is footwork at the kitchen line. Stability becomes the priority here. Instead of taking many small, uncontrolled steps, effective players use larger, deliberate lunging movements while keeping their head steady. Excessive movement leads to instability, making it harder to react during fast exchanges. A simple drill for this involves one player remaining stationary while the other moves side to side, returning every ball. This builds balance, control, and readiness. Keeping the head still and maintaining a strong base allows quicker reactions, especially when facing sudden speed-ups. A key takeaway is that footwork must be a conscious focus during practice. Improvement is not just about strengthening strengths, but also about eliminating weaknesses. These weaknesses, referred to as holes in a player's game, often hold back overall progress. A common example is a strong forehand combined with a weak backhand, or effective drives paired with inconsistent drops. To address these gaps, isolation drills are essential. Unlike point-based drills, isolation drills focus on one specific shot repeatedly. This removes the complexity of a full rally and allows complete attention on technique and consistency. For example, practicing drops involves one player at the baseline repeatedly hitting drops to a partner at the kitchen. The focus is on controlling height, placement, and consistency. Since game situations are more chaotic, developing reliability in a controlled setting is necessary before expecting success in matches. Variations such as topspin or slice can also be incorporated, but the primary goal remains consistency. Backhand dinking is another common area of weakness. Isolating this shot through continuous cross-court rallies allows players to develop rhythm and confidence. During these drills, attention can be placed on specific technical elements such as paddle control, stable wrist position, and directional intent. While these drills may feel repetitive or less engaging, their long-term impact is significant. Consistent practice of weaker shots leads to noticeable improvement during games. Unlike the other pillars, which require time and repetition, optimizing gear can create immediate improvement. Equipment choices, particularly the paddle, directly influence performance. One major factor is paddle shape. Elongated paddles provide increased power and reach, especially on full swings from the baseline. In contrast, wider paddles offer greater control and quicker hand speed, which benefits kitchen play and fast exchanges. The choice between these shapes depends on individual needs and playing style. Another consideration is power level. Some paddles generate more power, which can be advantageous if the player can maintain control. However, players who struggle with consistency may benefit from control-oriented paddles that reduce errors. Selecting the appropriate power level ensures that the paddle supports rather than hinders performance. Rapid improvement in pickleball comes from combining structured practice with intentional focus. Mastering key drills like skinny singles and the Dink Game builds essential skills in realistic scenarios. Proper footwork ensures those skills translate into effective movement and positioning. Addressing weaknesses through isolation creates a more balanced and reliable game. Finally, optimizing equipment provides immediate support for performance. When these pillars are applied together, progress becomes significantly faster and more consistent, allowing players to elevate their level in a much shorter time frame.